You know that feeling, right? That rush of emotion when two voices, two souls finally intertwine after a long separation, pouring years of unspoken longing and hurt into a single perfect note. Or maybe that moment when a story, one you thought you knew, suddenly reveals layers you never saw coming, hitting you with an aha that just makes you rethink everything. Welcome to the deep dive. We take a pile of sources, unpack them, and basically give you the shortcut to really knowing what's going on. Today, we're plunging into a fan-written story, a fix-it. You know, that's fan fiction written specifically to, well, fix things folks didn't like in the original story, the canon. This one's for a key Glee episode. The story's called Home is Where the Heart Is. Bucket of Balls, Finchel Canon Fixes, Chapter 25. I still do. And look, this isn't just any fan fiction. It's honestly a masterful reimagining. It focuses so carefully on the plot, the romance rekindling, the humor, and maybe most importantly, how music is basically a character itself.
Exactly. And our mission today really is to dig into how a story like this, even one designed to fix things, can do more than just patch up plot holes. It can masterfully weave together these really complex emotional journeys for the characters, sprinkle in some authentic comedy, and give musical moments real weight and meaning. Ultimately, it tells a more satisfying, more resonant love story. This author revisits a huge Glee moment, the I Do episode, which, as the author points out, was kind of one of the best and also worst episodes for Finchel fans, and they give us this richer, more detailed, and frankly more healing look at Finn Hudson and Rachel Berry, or Finchel as the fans call them. They really managed to take an episode that had so much potential but also so much disappointment and just absolutely stick the landing.
Right. So, to set the scene, we're diving back into the, let's say, tumultuous lives of Finn and Rachel. They were arguably the heart of Glee's big romance saga. When this story picks up, their relationship is, well, it's a mess, honestly. Broken promises, so much unspoken pain, their engagement called off. There's physical distance 600 miles, actually, with Rachel in New York chasing dreams, Finn back in Lima feeling lost. And you can tell both are just wrestling with this lingering heartache, huge mistakes they made, and the consequences of these life-altering decisions. Decisions that, sent Rachel towards Broadway, but left Finn feeling completely adrift. And the author is really upfront about wanting to address and, quote, fix several ball drops from the original Glee canon, starting with a big one. In this version, Finn did not kiss Emma Pillsbury.
Yeah, that's a huge change.
Huge. And that single change just fundamentally shifts his emotional landscape, doesn't it? It sets a whole different tone for his journey and ultimately his reconciliation with Rachel. Okay, so let's start unpacking this opening scene. It's Valentine's Day of all days, and they run into each other at the Lima Bean. Finn is just a walking bundle of internal turmoil. He tries this warm if guarded smile at Rachel. He's trying so hard to keep the bitterness out of his voice when he mentions her Brody guy, the dancer she was seeing in New York. But inside, he's a wreck. The author shows it so vividly, he's, quote, bursting at the seams. Just seeing her after months apart, but at the same time, he's just drowning in self-blame, realizing his pain is, quote, all on him.
Yeah, he keeps reminding himself why he's hurting, thinking about that misguided train station send-off, the whole impulsive army plan, and then as he internally quips, how he literally shot himself in the foot here. Leg, actually.
Right. The irony, he notes, of not having a leg to stand on isn't lost on him one iota. It's such a powerful, immediate dive straight into his head.
And what's really insightful, I think, is how the author doesn't ease us in.
Yeah.
They throw us right into Finn's really raw emotional baggage. We get his internal monologue about Brody Weaselton, describing him as some rancid, rotten egg cherry on top that just makes him a little homicidal.
Yeah.
This visceral urge to just scream, how could you hook up with that ass chat when you're supposed to be my wife by now?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of raw honesty from Finn's side, it's crucial. It's not just setting up the romance. It's showing his deep hurt, his anger. It makes everything that comes after, his actions, his growth, feel so much more earned.
Yeah.
It shows the real painful states.
Oh, absolutely. And Rachel.
Yeah.
She's right there with him in that opening moment, mirroring that annoyance, that hurt. The author describes her nostrils just a smidge flared, trying to hide her own irritation at his obvious irritation. And that tiny vein in her temple that he's always thought of as the enemy.
The Finn Jr. vein.
Exactly. Which he nicknames Finn Jr. It tells you everything.
Yeah.
Her tone is, quote, intentionally more accusatory than apologetic when she snaps back. She says, this isn't exactly how I expected to be spending this Valentine's Day either. It's so clear, the frustration, the pain, it's mutual.
Yeah, and he even knows it internally. He acknowledges she probably resents much more than the whole surprise, I'm shipping you away on a train instead of marrying you today party.
That specific memory, that abrupt end to everything they planned, it's like this deep, unhealed wound for both of them.
Mm-hmm. And this immediate tension, the shared history, it just raises that fundamental question you see in so many relationships, right? How do people navigate these past betrayals, this deep hurt, when there's still clearly this undeniable connection?
Right. And the author uses their dialogue, their internal thoughts, so masterfully to show this constant push-pull. It's not just surface stuff. Those past regrets, Finn's stupid-ass let's bet on the universe move, or his damaging no-contact embargo.
Yeah, those things keep bubbling up. Exactly. They're like these invisible walls. I can't just ignore their history. It's woven into every look, every strained word, every silence. By showing this painful past so openly, even while Finn's stuck in guilt and Rachel's simmering with resentment, the author sets the stage. It signals that the only way forward, genuinely, is if they actually confront these core issues. It's a universal thing, isn't it? Learning to process shared trauma in a relationship.
That tension is just so palpable, you feel it right through the page. The writing makes you feel every single unspoken word, every little flinch. It's like those conversations you've had where so much is left unsaid, but somehow it's all understood. You're right there with them, feeling the weight of it all. Hashtag, hashtag, the conditional truce. So this emotional standoff keeps building and building until Finn just cracks. He lets out this desperate, almost like guttural grovel. He says, I know, God, I'm the worst person in the world. I just wanted things to be no better, different. You can almost hear the desperation in his voice, right? That deep self-loathing just laid bare.
Mm-hmm. And Rachel's response to that vulnerability, that's a real turning point in this whole interaction. She visibly softens. The author notes her Finn Jr. vein receded back under her hairline, and she offers this cautious but really vital olive branch. She says, Finn, no, you're not the worst person in the world. Well, not now anyway. I've been working on forgiving you.
That not now anyway is just pure Rachel.
Totally classic Rachel. It shows her personality is still right there, shining through even all the pain.
Absolutely. And connecting this to the bigger picture of reconciliation, Rachel's condition for hitting reset, for a clean slate, it feels like a really necessary coping mechanism for both of them.
Oh, for sure. And it's a smart move by the author, too. She demands they set this rather heavy discussion aside for another time and just focus on Will and Emma's wedding. It lets them function, and interact without immediately drowning in the sheer weight of their past. It shows her strength, that drive. She has the Tony Award-winning actress aspiration. She has goals. She's fighting for her future. And that focus can be a shield.
Right. But underneath?
Exactly. Underneath that strength, she's still deeply affected. This temporary truce buys them time, creates space. Maybe they can tackle the deeper stuff later when they're both more ready. It shows her resilience, but also, undeniably, her very real pain.
And smack in the middle of this really intense emotional negotiation, the author throws in this perfect little moment of lightness. Rachel jabs at Finn about his, let's say, clumsy proposal strategy from the past. Is that your subtle way of still calling me a controlist? Which is still not a word, by the way.
Yes. It's classic them. That playful bickering isn't just comic relief, though. It's a reminder of their history, their comfort level. It shows that even now, humor is this familiar anchor for them. It reveals their true selves and proves their core dynamic, despite everything, is still intact.
It's a really clever use of humor, actually. It grounds this high-stakes emotional scene and gives you, the listener, a little breather from the tension.
Yeah, and then the thing that really forces them to keep interacting, despite all the emotional landmines everywhere.
The duet.
The duet. Will Schuster asks for a Finchel duet for the wedding. And Rachel's immediate, enthusiastic yes, even with her nervousness underneath, it just highlights that enduring, undeniable musical chemistry they have.
Even after everything.
Exactly. The idea of singing with Finn still excites her. She tells him, I'd be more than happy to sing with you, Finn. You should know you never have to twist my arm to perform, especially with you.
Wow. That's a powerful statement about their unique bond, isn't it?
Yeah.
A connection that somehow transcends all the current difficulties. Okay, so now the story shifts, and things get really interesting. We move to the McKinley High Auditorium. This place is, like, loaded with significance for Finn and Rachel. It's almost sacred ground. Rachel, being Rachel, gets there 10 minutes early. But the author just paints this picture of the incredible weight of this place. Quote, sacred, hallowed ground. The place where Finn and Rachel became Finchel and then became Finn and Rachel again.
The gravity of the location, just saturated with their shared history, it immediately triggers her anxiety. She even has a, quote, mini meltdown walking through the hallway past the choir room and the director's office where he'd laid down his no-contact embargo.
Oh, I remember that part.
Mm.
She felt like the scalpel managed to make it all the way into her chest cavity after he did that.
Yeah.
And it was a long time before she could let go of that stabbing pain. It just throws you right into her vulnerability from the start of the scene.
And this is where the author really starts using music almost like a weapon. It becomes its own character. What's so insightful is the immediate, visceral impact music has on Rachel. She's trying to pull herself together, and then she hears Finn's beautiful, mournful voice soaring to a song she knew far too well, Harry Nelson's Without You.
Oh, that song.
Right. The author explicitly says it's not just any song. It's their tortured anthem, the one she played on repeat for months in New York. And the description of the impact is intense. It felt like the shock of the past year's heartbreaks just sort of all slammed into her like a damn freight train.
Wow. That technique really shows how often, in real relationships, our deepest feelings get communicated or triggered by things other than words, right? Like shared cultural moments or music.
Exactly. Music, in this story, just bypasses all the rational defenses and goes straight for the heart of their shared trauma, their shared love. It's incredibly potent. We even get a snippet of the lyrics that hit her so hard. I can't live if living is without you. I can't live. I can't give anymore.
Oof, yeah, that's a gut punch. Delivered by melody and memory, not just words.
And the description that follows of Rachel's panic attack, it's incredibly powerful. It shows just how deeply this history and that song affect her.
She feels the physical symptoms immediately. She can't breathe, or more accurately, she's doing too much breathing, like hyperventilating. She ducks into the restroom, locks herself in a stall, and just cries. Cries out the, quote, phantom limb pain of Finchel still attached inside her chest walls.
That phantom limb pain metaphor is so poignant, isn't it?
It really is. And she explains it's not just her heart, but also her left ring finger and the hollow of her neck, where a couple specific charm necklaces still invisibly haunt and sometimes strangle her. It's such a powerful way to convey the depth of her connection to Finn, and how that specific song, sung by him, triggers this massive physical and emotional reaction, way beyond just sadness.
It illustrates music's unique power so well, and it makes you think, right, how can one song get so tangled up in your personal story that it triggers these profound responses, physical even? The author shows how music, especially in their shared past, becomes this container for their most intense memories, the love, the pain. It's not just background noise, it's alive. It can cause this full-body reaction, bypassing all the walls Rachel painstakingly built up.
It's a brilliant move by the author. It lets them show us, not just tell us, the enduring, almost cellular depth of their connection and the trauma they both carry.
It's something we all experience, I think, how a melody can just instantly transport you back to a specific time, a specific feeling.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag tag flirtation and subtext in song selection.
Okay, so despite that intense emotional reaction, Rachel eventually pulls herself together and walks into the auditorium. Finn, being Finn, playfully teases her about being late. And she gives this kind of flimsy excuse, I was getting a spray tan.
Haha, yeah, not buying it.
Not at all.
Okay.
And his immediate response, so charmingly casual, you're already gorgeous just the way you are, it just instantly reignites that spark between them, doesn't it?
And then the author uses these really vivid descriptions to dial up the sexual tension. Finn's hand running up and down his thigh, which totally distracts Rachel. His damn amazing jeans that were definitely not his usual baggy ones.
Right. And Rachel's own dressy shorty shorts. And then that look in his eyes, a dangerous glint in his eyes, and an even more dangerous dimple.
You can just feel the heat simmering between them, even with all the unresolved pain. It's undeniable.
Yeah, and if you connect this to their overall romance, this flirtation, even after such a deep wound, it almost feels like a shield, doesn't it? Like a familiar, comfortable way to navigate these intense feelings bubbling just below the surface.
Totally. And Finn's internal thoughts give us this insight into their private dynamic. He thinks, for all Rachel's big speeches on female equality, he happens to know she secretly enjoys being objectified by him most of the time. And Rachel knows his looks too, those sexy or suggestive, genuine racial looks that were always real and always only used around him. It shows this deep, shared, intimate understanding they have, a kind of nonverbal shorthand that survived the months apart.
They just know each other on this level nobody else does.
Hmm.
And the flirting is like slipping back into that familiar, powerful space.
Hmm.
It's a classic example of how deep connections create unique communication styles.
So then they get down to actually choosing the song for Will and Emma, and it becomes immediately clear Finn's suggestions are not exactly neutral.
Not even close. He suggests Air Supply's Lost in Love or Just As I Am.
Hmm.
These are so obviously meant for Rachel. They're basically him expressing his pain, his mistakes, his unchanging love, but indirectly.
Yeah, when Rachel reads the lyrics to Just As I Am, she gets hit with lines like, I've had a lot of big dreams, I've made a lot of bad moves, I know you could walk away, but you never do.
Wow.
I know I'm hard to be around, but you never leave. It's a complete confession, just wrapped in a song.
Her internal reaction says it all.
Yeah.
All right, that settled it. Finn wasn't picking songs for Will and Emma. Not at all.
Yeah.
He was using napalm.
Napalm. Perfect description.
This moment really highlights how the author uses music as this, like, subtextual conversation, a way to say things without saying them.
Exactly. Rachel gets it immediately. Was Finn trying to say something without saying it? It felt like maybe he was.
This use of music as a vehicle for unspoken feelings is a theme throughout the story, and it's such a brilliant way to develop their emotional journey. Finn, who often struggles to articulate his deepest feelings directly, uses music to just bare his soul.
It shows growth for him, doesn't it? And understanding how to reach Rachel on her wavelength. Definitely. It shows his artistic side growing, but also his deeper understanding of her. It really highlights the power of shared culture songs, in this case to convey really complex personal messages.
And right in the middle of all this tension and heavy subtext, the author gives us this fantastic, much-needed laugh. Finn jokingly suggests Afternoon Delight, which is such a nod to the often inappropriate but funny humor from the original show.
Oh, yeah. And Rachel giggles but quickly corrects him. No, it wasn't. Poor Emma honestly believed it was about dessert.
It's a perfect example of using humor not just to break tension, but also to reinforce their shared history, their unique dynamic.
It gives you a quick breather from the intensity and reminds you of their playful banter. You're right. It's more than just diffusion. That kind of humor, rooted in their past jokes, serves a deeper purpose. It shows how well they know each other, how comfortable they are even when things are uncomfortable, and how humor is just a vital coping mechanism for them. It shows that even in their pain, their core personalities and their shared history are still right there, influencing everything. It grounds the big emotional stuff in relatable interactions. Hashtag the ultimate challenge.
Okay, so Finn senses Rachel's hesitation about his very loaded song choices. So he goes for broke. He throws down this direct challenge that cuts right to the heart of their connection, musical and personal. He says, I think the real issue here is whether or not you can handle singing with me. I mean, we do have some pretty dangerous musical chemistry. So maybe all this vetoing is just you feeling a little intimidated.
Ooh, that's not just playful teasing, is it? It's a powerful question forcing her to confront her feelings head on. He's making her acknowledge that undeniable pull between them, the one that's more than just music.
And her response is great. It's confident, but also super flirty. She's asserting control, but also admitting the attraction. She says, I think I can control myself, although I will admit, you do look very cute right now.
The author just lets that tension simmer, builds it masterfully, right before Rachel reveals her choice. INXS's Never Tear Us Apart.
Boom. Given everything swirling between them, that song choice immediately signals this powerful, almost faded climax to their musical reunion.
Yeah, it's a song about deep, unbreakable connection. It's a perfect reflection of her feelings and a clear sign she's ready to face their chemistry.
Okay, fast forward 2 days. It's the wedding day. And in true Glee fashion, there's a twist. Emma, the bride, has left Will at the altar.
Dun dun dun.
Right. Finn and Will are stunned. And then immediately, hilariously, Santan chimes in with her usual bluntness. She interrupts their shock, saying, Miss Pillsbury's parents say they paid for the whole thing, so we might as well go ahead and have the party.
Haha. Classic Santana. Always cutting to the chase, finding the most practical, if maybe cynical, way forward. It feels straight out of the original show.
It does. And this external event, Emma running away, the author uses it so brilliantly to push Finn and Rachel's internal story forward.
Yeah, Emma's decision becomes this powerful mirror, reflecting Finn's own past actions, leaving Rachel at the altar. It's not just a random plot twist, it's a catalyst. It forces both Finn and Rachel to think about their own broken engagement, the reasons behind it. It opens the door for this really deep, necessary conversation between them. It shows how one event can ripple out, pushing characters towards their own truths. masterful connection of plots.
And Finn's guilt kicks in almost right away, which really shows his growth, his self-awareness now. He confesses to Rachel he might have accidentally triggered Emma. He mentioned how sometimes weddings don't work out and recalled his own awful loser anchor with self-esteem issues speech he gave Rachel.
He even admits he was triggered by chairs, just talking about wedding planning with Emma.
Right. He's genuinely worried what if he's partly to blame for Emma leaving. It shows this empathy, this self-reflection that maybe wasn't always there in the original show.
It's fascinating, that moment. It shows his growth, even if it's painful for him to see. He's owning his past baggage and how it affected people. And Rachel's response is pivotal. It's comforting, but also incredibly firm. She tells him, when the bride runs away, it's never because of some random conversation about chairs or Broadway, all right? It's because she knew, deep down inside, that it wasn't right.
That lands hard, doesn't it?
It does. It acts as this profound reflection on their past. It kind of absolves him of Emma's decision, but also gently, firmly forces them both to face the truth about their own broken engagement. It's a really mature, necessary conversation for their healing individually and as a potential couple again. They need that healthy foundation.
And that conversation leads right to it. The pivotal question. The one that's been hanging unspoken between them for months, maybe years. The core of their unresolved past. Finn asks her, so vulnerably, if we'd gone to the church that day instead, would you have gone through with it, or would you have run?
Oh, that's the question, isn't it? The real wound that needs healing, the uncertainty they've both been carrying.
And Rachel's answer is just powerful. It offers that resolution they both desperately needed. It finally brings closure to one of the biggest sticking points in their relationship. She says unequivocally, you're just as important to me as my future Broadway career plans, maybe even more.
Wow. That is a monumental shift for Rachel Berry.
Right. In the original show, her ambition often came first. But here, the author shows her growth. She realizes love isn't a distraction. It's essential to her happiness.
This unwavering depth of her love for Finn, prioritized now, it just removes the biggest barrier she'd put between them, that singular focus on Broadway above all else.
It really sets the stage for their reconciliation.
It truly does. It shows her priorities have shifted, or at least expanded to fully include him. It's a beautiful moment of character growth.
But before things get too heavy again, Rachel pivots. Another perfect humor nugget showing their dynamic. Finn suggests Journey, and she's like, no need to travel down that road. Then she literally grabs his hand, pulls him to the dance floor, declaring he owes her for screwing up my Valentine's Day plans.
It's just them, playful, comfortable, even in the intensity, navigating with that lighthearted banter that was such a hallmark of their Glee relationship. Hashtag tagged on you the bouquet in the Daisy game.
Okay, later at the reception, there's this moment heavy with symbolism. Rachel catches the bouquet.
Of course she does.
Right, so traditional, almost faded for her character, who's always believed in those big romantic moments. Finn sees her look that this should have been me. A clear sign of her lingering regrets.
And Finn, armed with some liquid courage thanks to a fake ID from Puck, he decides it's time. Time to address the real elephant in the room. Or, as he thinks, the elephant in the loft back in Bushwick, and maybe even the one that's been hiding out here in Lima all these months.
This scene is so clever. What's really insightful is how Finn uses the Daisy game. She loves me not.
Yeah, it seems childish, but he uses it to tackle this really mature, unspoken issue. Rachel's situation with Brody and her real feelings for Finn. He plucks petals, challenging her claims of being single. You live with a guy, she loves me not. Then, you were the one who told me to stop moping around. She loves me.
It's brilliant. This simple game just externalizes her internal conflict. It forces her to confront her own story, maybe her own self-deception. In a way, direct confrontation might not have worked. It cuts through the pretense.
And then Finn drops this surprisingly deep moment of maturity, this analogy that really captures his growth, his newfound wisdom about relationships.
The gardener analogy.
Yes. He tells Rachel, relationships are a lot like flowers. If you find the right seed, put it in good soil, give it water and sunlight, bam, perfect bud. And then comes winter and the flower dies. But if you tend that garden, spring will come along and that flower will bloom again.
It's unexpected and really profound coming from Finn at this point.
Yeah.
It shows a huge shift from his sometimes naive view of love before. Suggests he's done some serious soul-searching.
It makes you think, how do people use analogies to express complex emotions or show growth? Finn's gardener analogy is powerful here. It shows he now understands commitment, perseverance, the cycles of relationships that even after hard winters, love can bloom again if you work at it.
He's not just dreaming anymore.
Exactly. He's learned hard lessons, done the emotional work, and now he's ready to invest in the long-term tending of their relationship. It signals real maturity, readiness for a lasting partnership. It's a beautiful universal metaphor for enduring love. Hashtag the endgame declaration.
Building right off that momentum, Finn delivers the core romantic confession. It's confident, leaves no room for doubt. You and I both know how this thing ends. You're my girlfriend. We are endgame. I know that, and you know that.
Direct. Unwavering. Totally confident in their destiny together. It's the statement so many Finchel fans wanted to hear.
And the author brings back that tether imagery here, reinforcing that fated connection.
Yes, it's described so vividly. That damn tether of theirs that won't go away, the thing that can't be broken between them, well, it seems to have a mind of its own and doubles as a magnet, sometimes even as a fishing reel when needed, so it's just pulling them into each other's orbits.
That imagery just paints this picture of an unavoidable pull, making their reunion feel less like choices and more like inevitable, like a force in their universe.
It speaks to a bond that transcends logic, temporary problems, makes their love feel truly epic.
And this declaration leads straight to the climax of all that built-up tension. Rachel, after this intense eye contact, she doesn't just kiss him back. She pins him to the wall and kisses him with force. It's kind of a reversal of their usual dynamic, showing her assertiveness, her desire now.
Yeah, and when they finally break for air, she gives this raw, emotional confession. I love you, Finn. Okay. Do you really need me to say it? When I said this is unconditional, I meant it.
Then she grabs his hand, presses it to her heart. It's still yours. It always has been.
Yeah.
Just, wow. A beautiful, raw declaration of unconditional, enduring love. The moment fans waited for.
And what's powerful is how her confession is explicitly tied to that unconditional love, despite his past mistakes. It highlights the incredible depth, the resilience of their bond. She's acknowledging his errors, but actively choosing to move past them because her heart, fundamentally, was always his.
It solidifies their love as something that can withstand trauma, separation, growth.
Yeah, it's a testament to the author portraying a love that grows through hardship, not just around it.
And then, the crucial Brody reveal. Whispered intimately by Rachel. He already knows Finn.
Okay. The truth comes out.
She confesses she lied about the open relationship. It was actually an open door. So open that I told him he needed to find another place to live, that I can't betray my own heart anymore. And him being there, that's what it felt like.
That's huge. Total honesty.
It marks a full circle for their romance.
Yeah.
It shows Rachel's commitment, her realization that Brody was just a distraction, a temporary fix.
Exactly. She's finally prioritizing her heart, making a decisive choice, removing any lingering doubt about where she stands. It's crucial for them to reconcile fully, move forward without that shadow. It's about choosing authenticity and love, even when it's hard.
Finn then seals it, this renewed commitment. He kisses her left ring finger, affirms, "It's going to be us, Rach. One day, I promise."
A quiet, intimate vow.
And just then, their profound moment gets hilariously shattered by Kurt's voice booming over the speakers, demanding they get up there for their duet.
Perfect comedic timing. Absolutely perfect.
Right. Back on stage at the reception, Rachel's chosen song. INXS's Never Tear Us Apart.
Powerful choice.
Finn starts the first verse. Then Rachel comes in with these power vocals that the author describes as literally blowing the roof off the place.
The description of their harmonies is intense, incendiary. It hints at this crackling sexual energy between them, the culmination of all that tension.
It's clear she chose this song with purpose. And Finn later thinks about its booty call or one-night stand vibe, showing he totally gets her deeper intention.
Yeah, this isn't just singing for the guests. It's a public, raw declaration of their passionate bond.
And the power of their combined musicality here, the author describes it so vividly.
Finn even thinks they're going to spontaneously combust if they didn't get off this damn stage into a hotel room soon.
It's not just a love song performance, it's this raw, almost primal expression of their passion, their connection made real through music.
The song becomes this direct channel for their physical and emotional reunion. It perfectly blends the plot, romance, and music threads of the story into one explosive moment.
It really shows how music isn't just background here. It's a living character, embodying their feelings, pushing the story forward.
And that tether image comes back again during the duet, right?
Yeah.
Making their bond feel even stronger.
Yes, Rachel is described as reeling him in like a prize catch, with flames sparking like live wires in her eyes. That metaphor just underscores how music and love are completely intertwined for them. It's a language they both get, pulling them together.
Makes the physical attraction feel just as essential as the emotional and musical connection. #tag the hotel escape.
So right after that fiery duet, it's just a blur of passion. They make a beeline for the elevator.
Can't wait another second.
Nope. Immediately tangled up in a whirlwind of tongues and hands. And then the author injects this brilliant, perfectly timed bit of humor. Finn hits the emergency stop button in the elevator for some privacy, only to be interrupted by this garbled, loud voice over the intercom, asking if anyone needed medical assistance.
Ha ha ha. That's fantastic. It raises that point about narrative technique, doesn't it? How comedic interruptions can actually build tension instead of killing it?
Totally. That unexpected, awkward moment doesn't break the spell. It heightens the anticipation, highlights how frantic their desire is.
It adds levity, relatable awkwardness, while making you even more eager for them to finally get their moment. Brings realism to their passionate dash for privacy. Even intense moments get interrupted by life or intercoms.
Rachel's reaction, they're saying it, the expletives, and their hurried dash to the hotel room, slapping the "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door.
Yeah.
It paints this vivid, breathless picture of their long-awaited intimacy.
It feels earned, raw, real, capturing the urgency.
Yeah, this scene, the culmination of months of longing, it really delivers on the romance plot.
It shows their undeniable physical chemistry is a key part of their connection, completing their reunion.
After all the emotional stuff, the lyrics, the musical fireworks, this physical expression of their love feels totally earned. It's essential to the story's resolution.
It's the satisfying, passionate payoff for all that tension the author meticulously built up.
Okay, so now we're in the hotel room. It's quieter, more intimate. After what the author calls 2 rounds of hot reconciliation sex,
Yes.
the story shifts profoundly. It moves from that physical passion to deep emotional vulnerability. Rachel's draped over his chest, tracing shapes on his belly. His fingers are on her spine. And in this closeness, she says something really vulnerable. I really don't know how to be without you in New York. It sounds almost childlike, this fear.
And that simple, vulnerable admission just opens the floodgates for Finn's biggest, most necessary confession.
This is such a pivotal shift and a really smart narrative choice by the author.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that physical intimacy creates this safe space for deep emotional honesty. It allows Finn to finally unburden himself. Rachel's fear, which seems practical on the surface, triggers this much deeper reveal of Finn's hidden struggles. It transforms the story from just a romance into this exploration of mental health, past trauma.
And lets the author reframe those previous ball drops from Glee, right? Those plot points that felt maybe unresolved or weird.
Exactly. Reframes them through a more empathetic human lens. It's a great example of how a fix-it can add layers of understanding that we're missing.
This is where Finn's character arc gets really interesting. He reveals the full, devastating truth about what happened after he left Lima, his leg injury in the army, the deep depression that followed, learning his father wasn't a war hero but a drug addict who lied about his service.
And his mom keeping that secret for so long.
Right. He admits he felt more worthless than I had the day I sent you away. That context changes everything.
It does. He confesses his proposal back then wasn't just pure love, it was also this desperate need for her as his lifeline during that incredibly dark, confusing time.
It raises that important question about character development, doesn't it? How can an author use a mental health journey to reframe past actions and add this incredible depth?
Finn explains his past behavior, the ghosting, the rash decisions, not as malice or just being immature, but as symptoms of this huge unspoken struggle. He says explicitly, I didn't want to dump my crap on you. I didn't want to sound weak or broken.
That humanizes his mistakes so much. It provides context for his long-term struggle, explains why he seemingly vanished.
It's a powerful narrative fix. It gives his character a depth and vulnerability that, honestly, the original show didn't fully explore. Makes his journey far more relatable.
And he gives specific, heartbreaking details. He eventually sought counseling, got put on meds for clinical depression, brought on by an adjustment disorder. He says it's a chemical imbalance, though, which was triggered by a series of traumatic events and stress.
And he connects this directly to why he backpacked through Georgia instead of going to New York, a plot point from the show that felt so random, even cruel, before.
Yeah, he lists the traumas piling up. Learning the truth about your dad, finding out my mom lied, coping with the new step-family, watching my girl choke at her NYADA audition, being rejected by a football recruiter. than sending the love of my life away alone and breaking off our
Yeah.
engagement.
It's just overwhelming when you hear it laid out like that. It explains so much.
If you think about effective storytelling, this big reveal gives crucial context to so much of Finn's past behavior that seemed erratic or hurtful.
It transforms him from maybe seeming immature or selfish into someone grappling with serious mental health issues. His mistakes become understandable, even if still regrettable.
It's a powerful fix for the Glee canon, adding layers of empathy and depth to their whole relationship.
It really shows that sometimes the biggest hurdles in a relationship aren't external things, but these deep internal struggles characters carry, often silently. Reminds you, empathy comes from understanding those hidden battles.
Rachel's reaction is tears, guilt for not knowing, but Finn quickly reassures her. Nobody knew. Even my mom doesn't know this stuff. I'm telling you, not even now.
And her response back to him is so moving, such loyalty. I am never too stressed or too distracted for you. You are the love of my life, and I'm here for you first. Do you understand?
It's a powerful moment of her reprioritizing, offering unwavering support.
And what's fascinating here is how the song Without You, their tortured anthem, comes up again in this vulnerable talk.
Right. Tying back to the auditorium scene, Rachel reveals it was her tortured anthem in New York, too.
It creates this even deeper, almost psychic connection through their shared pain and the meaning of that song for both of them.
It reinforces that tether idea again, that deep, intuitive connection through music and pain, even when they were miles apart.
Highlights how linked their emotional and musical worlds are. Music is a language they both speak, understanding each other beyond words.
Finn then explains how music therapy was vital in his recovery. And Rachel, always insightful, always connecting things to her passions, suggests he could become a music therapist.
It's a brilliant narrative connection. It combines his love for music, his natural teaching instinct, and gives him a way to honor his father by helping others who've suffered trauma.
Yeah, she says, you could do that by helping people like him, people who suffered trauma, through music. It gives Finn this meaningful, purposeful future, integrating his journey and talents beautifully. #tag future plans and renewed vows.
Okay, so with Finn having laid his soul bare, he shares his plan for their future. It's ambitious, but deeply thought out.
He's going to transfer to a university in New York, SUNY Brooklyn College, Kingsborough, specifically for a music program. To be where Rachel is, to be with her.
And he directly tackles her earlier worry about his happiness. He says, with this real maturity, I am happy when I'm with you, wherever that is now or wherever it ends up taking us in the future.
That's such a mature, self-aware statement of his priorities, a total reversal from his past insecurities.
It raises that important question for any healthy relationship, right? How do partners handle personal sacrifice while ensuring mutual support for a shared future? Finn isn't just following Rachel here. He's actively carving out his own path music therapy while deliberately integrating her into his vision of happiness.
He's being proactive, not just reactive, like sometimes in the past.
Exactly. Taking thoughtful steps towards their shared happiness. It shows his newfound maturity, his commitment. True love involves supporting each other's dreams while building new ones together.
So they decide on long distance for a few months while he sorts out the transfer. And Finn solidifies his commitment with this grand, heartfelt gesture, singing those iconic lines from the Proclaimers. I would walk 600 miles and I would walk 1,000 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
It's a huge, dramatic declaration of devotion, perfectly fitting for their larger-than-life romance.
And Rachel, in return, sets this crucial foundation for a healthy relationship moving forward, a non-negotiable demand.
Yes. I really need you to talk to me about anything and everything, okay? If you have fears or doubts or worries, I need you to talk to me about it all. Can you do that?
This is so vital. Breaking those old patterns of miscommunication, secrets, the stuff that plagued them before.
It shows their growth, their shared commitment to building something stronger, more honest, emphasizes trust and openness are key moving forward, a real insight into what makes relationships last.
They both say they're all in, fully committed. They reaffirm their plan to live together.
Embracing our little shoebox life together, well, like we planned with Kurt, plus Santana.
A vision of their future shared life, mutual support, and, naturally for Glee, a dose of chaos with their roommates.
And the author brings the music full circle so beautifully here. In their last intimate moments in the chapter, they use Mumford & Sons lyrics like renewed vows.
Rachel hums, I will wait for you, Finn responds with the next line. Now I'll be bold as well as strong and use my head alongside my heart.
She continues, so tame my flesh and fix my eyes. And he adds, a tethered mind freed from the lies.
Their shared language of love woven into these lyrics. They end murmuring the chorus together. I will wait. I will wait for you.
It's incredibly poetic, poignant. Music isn't just accompaniment, it's this integral, almost sacred part of their bond, reflecting their journey, their renewed promise.
All right, jump forward 6 months. It's a brutally hot August in New York City. The scene opens with classic roommate antics, immediately setting their new normal. Santana and Kurt are in this quintessential battle over the AC and ice.
Their hilarious dynamic is just indoors. Santana's using all her Kurt nicknames: Satan, Hobbit, Lady Hummel.
They're bickering about bills, air conditioning, ice for Kurt's Joan Crawford nightly facial treatment. It's a delightful, familiar chaos, their found family vibe.
This scene shows the author's skill in keeping the original show's tone while moving the story forward. What's great is how quickly they establish this new normal, using the humor from their clashing personalities living together. It feels authentic Glee. And Santana's comment about the Hudson El Nino effect, it perfectly captures the impending emotional storm of Finn and Rachel's reunion. It shows even the roommates know the intense energy surrounding them.
It's funny, but also predicts the passionate chaos perfectly. Grounds the big romantic payoff in relatable, everyday squabbles.
And then, the moment arrives, Finn shows up, a surprise. He wasn't expected for another week, instantly ramps up the excitement.
Rachel, wearing just this well-worn and nearly see-through oversized McKinley athletic shirt, runs to him. They collide in this passionate, long-awaited kiss that just says everything.
And Santana observes it perfectly. Oh shit! This is it, isn't it? It's the satisfying culmination of their whole journey. The author uses the roommates' reactions not just for laughs, but to amplify the significance of the moment.
It marks the endgame they declared, the one they worked so hard for. A truly fulfilling moment for the reader, delivering on that promise.
And Finn's simple line, yet so profound, "Yep, I'm home."
It means so much more than just arriving in New York, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's his emotional return to Rachel, to where his heart belongs, after that long journey of self-discovery, reconciliation.
It's the perfect, understated end to their struggle. Brings the story's title full circle.
And of course, the chapter ends with one last fantastic character-driven humor beat, perfectly captures their extended family dynamic.
Santana's parting shot as she retreats to her room, leaving Kurt to deal with the incoming romance.
Better turn that AC up some more, Curtsy. I think the temp in this joint is just going to keep rising from here on out. Your weatherman apparently didn't take into consideration the Hudson El Nino effect.
And Kurt's frantic reaction, needing noise-canceling headphones.
It's the perfect funny end to this part of the story while reinforcing just how passionate Finn and Rachel's relationship is.
It underlines that this isn't really an ending, is it? It's just the passionate, slightly chaotic beginning of their new life together. #outro. Wow. So this deep dive into Home is Where the Heart Is really shows you the power of narrative, doesn't it? This fan-written story just masterfully shows how a narrative can be expertly fixed. It focuses on those core things. A compelling plot that resolves past traumas, even reframes them with empathy.
A romance that genuinely weathers storms and comes out stronger. Humor that grounds the intensity and feels true to the characters.
And maybe most uniquely here, music as this vibrant, powerful, unspoken language binding Finn and Rachel together in such a visceral way.
Absolutely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, why stories resonate like this fan fiction really illustrates that sometimes the most satisfying stories aren't about avoiding conflict, they're about facing it head on, allowing characters to genuinely grow, understand their mistakes not just as failures, but as catalysts for learning, and ultimately choosing each other with open eyes, open hearts, having laid their souls bare and accepted their vulnerabilities.
The author truly made the music an active character, embedding their whole emotional landscape in the notes and lyrics. It creates such a rich experience.
So what does this all mean for you, listening? Maybe consider how the stories we consume, fan fiction, original media, whatever, offer us more than just entertainment.
Yeah, they can give us these powerful frameworks for understanding really complex human emotions, the vital importance of talking, of communicating openly.
And the enduring strength of love. Love that can overcome incredible distance, deep trauma, and even those measly 600 miles that once separated two souls who were clearly destined for each other.
Thank you for diving deep with us today.